Pep Guardiola finally took Manchester City to the promised land on Saturday after a 1-0 win over Inter Milan ended the club's wait for a maiden Champions League crown and the hallowed treble. Rodri's decider at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul rounded off a fairy-tale season, in which City already lifted both the Premier League and FA Cup titles. And their treble was the 10th European football has witnessed across almost 60 years, the kind of achievement only the continent's true elite have ever managed. Although the Turkey finale was far from a classic itself, this City side have earned plaudits as one of the greatest teams ever produced. And takes a look at how they size up against some of the other outfits to have pulled off arguably the most coveted feat in club football. Jock Stein's Lisbon Lions started the treble trend in 1967 when they mopped up every medal on show in what was Celtic's heyday. The Glaswegians rose to the top of Europe's pyramid in the first of two European Cup finals under Stein, coming from behind to beat Inter 2-1 thanks to second-half goals from Tommy Gemmell and Stevie Chalmers. It just so happens Celtic hold the distinction of being the only club to have won the quadruple that same season, adding the Scottish League Cup to their European, League and Scottish Cup plunder. Johan Cruyff may not have been able to guide the Netherlands to a World Cup of European Championship as a player or manager, but he did get his hands on a treble during the prime of his days at Ajax. Feyenoord were the first Eredivisie outfit to win a European Cup in 1970, but Cruyff helped inspire an era of relentless dominion with 3 continental crowns over the following 3 years. Undoubtedly the most special of those materialized in 1972 when the Sons of the Gods lived up to their billing with a trio of trophies. Club legend Cruyff scored both goals in a 2-0 toppling of Inter, signaling the true arrival of the total football system that would epitomize the Dutch game of the 70s. The 16 years that separated Ajax's treble from PSV's in 1988 represents the single biggest gap between two teams managing the feat. And yet that only served to make the achievement that much more special for the Eindhoven outfit in some ways, even if their 0-0 draw with Benfica in Stuttgart was hardly a blockbuster. Ronald Koeman was emerging in a PSV lineup that finished 9 points clear of Ajax in the Eredivisie. Their treble almost never came to fruition, however, as Eric Giretz equalized against Roda in the 85th minute of the KNVB Cup final, only for Soren Lerby to come up with the winner in extra time. The first English team to win the honour and the first team many will think of when they hear the word treble. Manchester United's 1998-99 squad pulled off arguably the biggest miracle in football. Injury-time goals from Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer completed a last-gasp turnaround against Bayern Munich in Barcelona, made all the more special due to the fact key men Roy Keane and Paul Scholes were suspended. As if that wasn't enough drama for one season, Sir Alex Ferguson's mythical side only cemented the Premier League title after beating Tottenham on the last day. However, a 2-0 FA Cup final win over Newcastle made for easier viewing from a fan's perspective. One of only 2 clubs to have managed their way to more than one treble, the emergence of a certain Lionel Messi unsurprisingly birthed the most dominant reign in Barcelona's history. However, their 2 trebles across just 7 seasons holds the record as the quickest time in which any team has pulled it off. Guardiola wasted no time at all, making a splash in senior management and claimed all 3 major trophies in his first season as head coach in 2008-09. The Catalan Kings dominated Man United 2-0 in the European final, battered Athletic Club 4-1 in the Copa del Rey decider, and ended La Liga 9 points clear. The 2015 repeat proved a lot more competitive as they again beat Athletic in the Cup and edged Juventus in the Champions League crescendo. The forward trident of Messi, Neymar and Luis Suarez established itself as one of the best combinations in history, just pipping Real to another league title. Manchester City are treble winners. Pep Guardiola's amazing Blues have been crowned kings of Europe after their victory over Inter Milan in the Champions League final in Istanbul. The triumph completed a remarkable season that saw them claim the Premier League title for the 3rd successive year and add the FA Cup with victory over rivals United in the first All-Manchester final. And to celebrate what has been a record-breaking campaign to remember, the Manchester Evening News has produced a stunning souvenir edition, charting the Blues' path to history. An unmissable review of the season, mission accomplished, includes interviews, player features, analysis, a look back at the key games, celebration pictures and a Champions League winners poster. It is the perfect way to mark what has been an unforgettable season for the Blues. You can pre-order a copy online now, just click here. José Mourinho bowed out of his 2-year Inter spell in typical fashion, taking the Nerazzurri to the treble in unique fashion. The Milan Titans just about beat Roma, whom the special one would go on to manage, to what was a 4th successive Serie A title at the time, as well as edging the Giallorossi 1-0 to take the Coppa Italia. Despite being underdogs against an intimidating Bayern lineup, Diego Milito's double took the team to Europe's pinnacle at the Bernabeu, where Mourinho moved to coach Real Madrid the following week. The other team to have celebrated multiple trebles, Bayern has made a habit of not doing things by halves over the past decade. That is to say, the German juggernaut has won the treble the last 2 times it's been crowned King of Europe, beating Borussia Dortmund and PSG to the prize in 2013 and 2020, respectively. Dortmund became a common sight for Bayern in the former, beating their bitter rivals as Der Klassiker took center stage for both the Champions League and DFB Pokal finals. As in that season, the 2020 Bundesliga crown was a relative formality for Die Roten, who beat Bayer Leverkusen to the cup and thrashed Barca 8-2 over 2 legs en route to the Champions League crown. Just to further cement his place in the history books, Guardiola became the first manager to lead 2 treble-winning campaigns following City's success on Saturday. It may not have been the leisurely jaunt many expected against Inter, but the Blues have earned every bit of their crowning moment. The crystallization is that much more impressive given City's first half of the season was poor by their usual standards, coming into their own since February to record just 1 loss across their last 28 games.